Hi, this is Jake at Canadian Cutting Edge, and today I want to share with you a buck knife, a nice new buck knife, the Lux. The Buck Lux is a knife that came out, I believe, in 2016, and it's a knife that comes out in two flavors, if you will. One with a carbon fiber insert and one with just sort of a stainless steel. It's a knife that's roughly the size of a Sanrenmu 7010. Those of you who are familiar with my channel are familiar with that knife. Very much the same size. And so if you've got this knife, you know pretty much about the size of this knife. Titanium coating on the steel, 420HC on the blade, just under 3-inch blade. It's a new offering from Buck that I think will be accepted by the knife community quite well once they know about it. Some people have the wrong idea that Buck is a knife company that is stuck in the past. Yes, they do carry a lot of knives, and they keep carrying knives that are classics that they've had for a long time, and they keep producing them and they keep selling them. And that's because of two reasons. One, they're great knives, and two, people still want them. And they're also producing new knives, new designs that look good, that fit a need and a desire. And there's a place in the market for knives like the Lux. And so if you want to stick around, we'll take a good look at this knife, bring the movie, bring the camera into the tabletop position, and we'll take a good look at the 0816, also known just as the 816 by Buck. All right, so let's take a look at the details of this knife. The first thing that I want to note is that, yes, this is a made in China knife for Buck, and it follows their tradition of their 420 high carbon steel blades. And you see two different kinds of steel here, and that is because we've got their bead blasted here, and this one is titanium coated. Their handle scales are both steel, and they're both titanium coated, and this one's got carbon fiber inlay, whereas this one simply has this one little decorative cutout in it. And I think it actually looks pretty good. Other than that, they're identical in size and shape and everything. You can get this knife without the thumb studs with a nail nick instead. I think Buck calls it a nail notch instead of a nail nick. So you can get them that way as well. And right now, Buck has them on sale on their website. This guy is $18 US, and the carbon fiber one is $25 US. Let's get the numbers right out of the way first. First, the model number. The model number for the one that's on the top here is 0816TTS-B. That's the one that's running at $18 right now. The one on the bottom here is 0816CFS-B. The CF is carbon fiber, obviously. Weights. The one up top here is 3.6 ounces. That's 102 grams. The one down here is 3.4 ounces, which is 96 grams. These knives have a handle that is 9.5 centimeters long, 3 3/4 inches when it's closed. When it's wide open, it's just less than 5 3/8, just less than 17 centimeters. Just the cutting edge itself is 7 centimeters, which is 2 3/4 inches. So if you're in a jurisdiction where you need a knife that's under 3 inches, this guy is a really good choice. It is a frame lock knife, and the frame lock is hiding underneath the pocket clip right here. Hang on a second, I'll take the pocket clip off of one of these. As you can see, there's a little bit of lubrication in there, but the pocket clip is set in, and it's a one-position pocket clip. You've got tip down right side only, and it doesn't look that good without the pocket clip. So basically, it's a good knife to have with the pocket clip on. Lockup is very good on both of these knives. You can see it right there. It's not too early, but it certainly has lots of room to wear over. And on this one here, you can see the same thing. It's very much at the same place of lockup as the other one. And so while you're there, you can see that you've got brass and you've got nylon washers. Brass on the one side, nylon on the other. And then just below the thumb stud, you can see that it's made in China. Pretty much that's the specs. We've got a blade that's got a slight recurve to it, and that actually helps it cut really well. But the recurve isn't so pronounced that it's difficult to sharpen this knife. You've got a nice flat area there so that if you've got one of those systems that clamps on like a Lansky or something similar, you can clamp it on and sharpen this knife. I would probably have liked if this end here, if the sharpening came out just a little bit further to right about there instead of here, like another less than 1/8 of an inch, maybe 2 millimeters out further. That would have left a nice clean end for the sharpening at the end there. That's a very small thing. That's not big at all. The knife is basically a great EDC. A knife like this is the size that I relish in. I like to carry 2 knives with me most times. I like to carry a knife that's very much this size plus a big knife, something like this Y-start. And so I like to carry a good size knife and a small EDC knife. I usually don't take out the bigger knife, the little guy, for just about everything, and I take out the big knife, if I just have to. For those of you guys who just carry one knife around, this is a really good choice. For very few circumstances in life do you need a big knife. You want to see how good this knife cuts? All right, let's see how well this knife cuts. So let's do this here. It just zips through that, no problem at all. And, it just slides through its regular 550 paracord. Let's try some of this banding. This is a 1-inch banding. And it just zips through that stuff as well. Let's try a little bit of wood. No problem if you need to do a little bit of, if you had to cut some wood up for some reason, it does that kind of stuff. No problem at all. Sorry about that noise. It flicks open just fine. I've not lubed it or anything. I just opened this today. And very often you have to work in knives before you can flick them open that well. This guy's just, able to flick open nicely. I'm sure it's going to work in, if I do this about 50 times, it will smooth out even more and become, very slick to open up just fine. Lockup is solid, no blade play, up, down, back and forth, no problems at all. It's a good looking knife. It's a good feeling knife. It's no hot spots in the hand. It's not overly heavy. It's a thin knife, so there's no hot, it's not bulky in your pocket. And let's see how big it is. 1 centimeter thick, not even 1 centimeter thick. And for those of you who aren't aware of what that is, right around 3/8 of an inch, just shy of 3/8 of an inch thick. It's a nice light knife that's easy to handle, easy to use, comfortable, and it doesn't look like an old farts knife. It's, decent styling without being, flashy. It's a good knife to carry. Good knife, looks good, feels good. It's worth your money. If if you're interested in this knife, I'd say go for it. If you like this video, please click on like, please share with your friends. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for being part of this channel. And, I forgot to talk about blade centering. Look at that. When it's done right, the blade centering is quite good. It's not perfect, but it's quite good. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for being a friend of Canadian Cutting Edge. And remember, always cut towards your chum and not your thumb. Bye-bye.